Well, Metro Atlanta family is turning grief into advocacy when it comes to tire safety. Doug Turnbull is joining us this morning in the streaming center with their story. Doug.
And we've heard a lot of different families that do the same kind of thing. Whatever something afflicted their kid or something in honor of their kid, they go and they do something more. In fact, recently, the Lutzy 43 Foundation, I brought them up when I was on the stream yesterday. They had a son, Phil Lutzenkirchen, who died in a car crash, and the kid, he and the friends were misbehaving, and they use that as a safe driving campaign. In this case, Jackson Bebiak, a college freshman at Valdosta State, was with his frat brothers. They were out driving on I-10 3 years ago in heavy rain, and they spun out and crashed, and a tractor trailer hit their car, and Jackson died, unfortunately, just a freshman in college. So his father, Alex Bebiak, and the others founded the Road Ready Foundation to train others not just about safe driving and so many other things about driving behavior, but actually about tire safety. And so they've been going around and going to seminars and getting funding and having some pretty prominent board members and trying to figure out what's next. Well, the next thing is actually arming police officers with the tools to check tires when they pull people over or do safety events. So here's what that's about.
So now we're equipping Cobb County Police Department with the same tool tread, tire tread tool, the same air inflation tool, and a media kit that has really how to use it, what to look for, and what makes sense. And while they're out there, checking some of these tires and making sure that our community in Cobb County is safe.
So yeah, they're from Cobb County. They've partnered with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and retailer Tire Discounters, and they've given out, so the Cobb County Police Force, BBAC says, has 700 officers. They gave 700 kits to them.
Wow.
They also gave a whole slew of these tire safety kits to Valdosta State's police officers. That was a college that Jackson attended when he perished 3 years ago. So his next step is he's actually going to Washington this coming week. There's a law firm that's funding his trip, and he's going up there to meet with Senators Warnock and Ossoff, to meet with the National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration, NHTSA, as it's called, in the National Safety Association. And he's going to talk to him about driver's education, about getting more information about tire safety into driver's ed, and he's going to talk about changing the penny standard for tire tread depth from 2/32 of an inch, which is the minimum, to 4/32 of an inch. So here's him mentioning that.
It's an antiquated standard. We haven't addressed the standard in years. If we really go through the data from tire performance, after 4:32 seconds, especially in wet weather, your tires lose most of their performance, over 70% of their performance. So we've got to change the messaging of 2:32 seconds, where it's basically too late.
So, and also keep in mind, pennies aren't made anymore, so it's a perfect time to switch from basically the width between Abraham Lincoln's head and the edge of the penny, which is what the minimum tire tread depth is, to the slightly bigger width, twice as much width between the top of George Washington's head and the head of a quarter. If you put that down, basically if you put it upside down in the tread of a tire, if the top of his head is sticking out of the tire tread, you're okay. George Washington's, that is, and he wants to make that the actual legal standard that is used. So, also too, the last thing with Road Ready Foundation is they've a Marietta NASCAR driver, up and coming NASCAR driver Wesley Slimp, actually ran their paint scheme in the Daytona race for a regional series called the ARCA Menard Series, and he's going to run again in April. He actually knew some of the BBAC kids in high school and reached out to them and said, hey, I'd just like to put this on my race car, so that they're trying to raise awareness that way and continue on. And lastly, the goal with those tire safety kits that were given to Cobb County, it's only 700, right? And then there's a few hundred handed out in Valdosta. They're hoping to get all 47,000 officers. That's the number he gave me, 47,000 officers, one of those tire safety kits in Georgia. So
47,000 across the state.
Across the state, get all of them one of those tire safety kits. So that's the next big goal for Road Ready Foundation, along with education.
This father has become an expert in the tire field. I don't know how much he knew about it before, but he's so well versed, and you can tell so passionate. Going to D.C. next week to lobby on behalf of his son.
He has been a general manager basically in restaurants.
Okay.
So he said, my career has taken me from tables to tires. All right, tables to tires. And he still is in the restaurant industry. He still has to have a job, right? But that's become a whole new thing. And again, it took a horrible, horrible tragedy in his life to get him outside of his box so he and his family and help others.
But potentially saving some lives here. Doug, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Dan.